Hey there, welcome to CITAM Church Online. My name is George Murichu, and today I am delighted to plug you into our conversation. We're talking about what's right there on the title of the video. It's all about those two words that we use on a day-to-day basis, on a daily, in our different interactions, our friendships, our family spaces, even in the workplace. You will say hi, and there comes a point where you say bye. And so we're talking about hi and bye. And before we can get to bye, let's start off with the hi. I'm so honored today to onboard and bring to us somebody with whom I've served together in CITAM Rongai. He's a big blessing. He's a dynamic minister, and he's going to tell us a bit more about himself. Before that, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and put on those claps, those digital claps, and let's give a warm, resounding welcome to Pastor Elisha Kababu. Karibu sana, mchungaji.
Thank you so much.
Great to have you on board.
I'm honored. Really
And looking sharp.
You know it. You know where this is coming from. So.
Dressed by none other, but we're going to hear about that. Yeah, so Pastor Elisha, welcome to CITAM Church Online.
Thank you so much.
For those who have never interacted with you, they haven't listened to you preach, they haven't tuned in to one of your albums, one of your song releases. Who is Pastor Elisha? Tell us a bit about yourself.
Wow, that's a good place to start.
Yeah.
My name is Rev G said is Pastor Elisha Kababu. I am born in a pastor's home. So my dad is a pastor, my mom is a pastor, and I'm the last born. I have a first brother, then my sister, and then me. So yeah, I'm a PK, but I think it's good for me to say that I didn't come into ministry because my dad is a pastor.
Yeah.
Because it was always the last thing that I wanted to, especially because of the experience that we went through growing up. I didn't. It was the last thing.
Yeah.
But here I am.
Here you are as.
You can never run away from the call.
From the call.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow, so many points into which we could pick up the conversation. But let's start off with the point where you get born again. You know, you were born into a pastor's family, but salvation isn't automatic.
Right.
It's not by osmosis.
Absolutely. Salvation is not by default.
Yeah.
And there's a bad notion that people have a high expectation for pastors' kids because their fathers and mothers are pastors. But for me, I think I had my own experience with Christ when I was 18 years old.
Good stuff.
We had gone to minister in a place. He had a group with my brother. We had gone to minister in a conference, and their worship was going on, and tears began rolling down my eyes, and I felt that conviction, and that's how I came to Christ. Yeah. You know, but before that, I don't think I was just a churchgoer, dancing in church, singing in church, playing the piano, but not really born again. Yeah. So for me, I think that's where it all began.
Yeah, I'm telling you, right there's a sermon.
There's a sermon?
There's a sermon right there.
What's the title?
You know, the title is Not All Who Call Me Lord, Lord.
Hey!
Not all who play the keys. So there you are serving, you're plugged in, but you are yet to experience this thing called salvation.
Absolutely.
So turning point comes when you're just about 18.
Yes.
But let's also backtrack. You've talked about PKs, pastors' kids.
Yes.
And the experience hasn't been the best.
It's whoa.
Give us a snippet.
I don't know about you see, my daughter, I wasn't even proud to say my dad is a pastor, as much as he was very popular growing up, because every time you say your dad is a pastor, people begin to judge you.
Really?
Why are you sagging? Why is you wearing this? And we used to, at some point as a teenager, I used to do the studs, you know, and I want to just look
you
cool.
had the studs.
I used to do the studs.
Okay. Magnetic?
The magnetic ones.
Okay.
I've not pierced. So
yeah.
It was a bad experience, and it's because I remember, even many times in school when you feature in the noisemakers list, they don't identify you as a pastor. They identify you as a pastor's child. Why are you in the noisemakers list and you're a pastor's child? I never had a single time my class teacher say, why are you in the noisemakers list and you are a doctor's child?
Yeah.
So why is
or
it that
a pilot's child,
or a pilot's
or an
child?
engineer's daughter?
So I feel like we grew. There's a lot of stereotype. I don't know if it's gone. children, but there's a lot of stereotype. There's so much expectation from the society. But I kind of feel like the society needs to know a pastor's kid is like a chef's kid, is like a doctor's kid, is like a pilot's kid. They're just children. Just let them be kids, because now if you put that pressure, then it becomes difficult.
It becomes counterproductive. And there isn't a subclass of humans or a different class called pastor's kid.
Yes. And I think it also makes people be now, because now you're living for people. So you start doing things not for yourself, but I want to please the crowds.
That's
because
a
they
lot
know
of pressure.
Hey, we grew up with pressure, Percy. It was too much.
So right there, maybe there's someone tuned in, a pastor who wants to do better. He doesn't want to put, or she doesn't want to put that kind of pressure on their kids. What would you say to them?
I'd say that let your children be children. Let them go through the stages when the time for them to give their life to Jesus. For some of them, it comes earlier. But if for them it's later, don't judge them, don't reprimand them. And I feel the pressure more comes from the society as opposed to the parents. Of course, the parents say you need to do their expectations that they have because, quote unquote, they want to protect their image. They want their children to be like this. But society also need to understand that a pastor's kid is a kid like every other. Allow them to make mistakes. Just like you that is reprimanding them, you also made mistakes.
You might have been in the noisemakers list as well.
Exactly. So why is it so they never said you're a so-and-so's kid? Why? So let pastors' kids just be children. Children are children. Being a child doesn't come with a tag. You shouldn't identify me with my father's career. You know, just let me be me because I'm a person. And it's interesting that some pastors' children don't end up in ministry because of that pressure. It's traumatizing, it's disturbing. So it's the last thing. Just like I said, Rev, I never envisioned myself as a pastor. I never it was the last thing. And that is why I say I'm not a pastor because my dad is a pastor. He's a bishop. Yes, so I'm a pastor because this must have been a call. Otherwise I wouldn't be here.
And it's intrinsic, or it's from within. It's not from without. So tell us now that we've had a bit of your salvation story, your experience as a pastor's kid, despite all the painful things you went through, here you are. You're in pastoral ministry. You're dynamic. You're highly effective. So tell us what then is the point at which you joined the ministry. You sensed that call.
I think after I received Christ as Lord and I had my own personal experience, I think it was clear that God wanted me to serve Him. Already I knew I was a gifted songwriter. I knew I could play the piano. I knew I had so I was already looking at how do I serve the Lord, you know. But then, then that 18, that's when I finished my high school, and then we started doing music with my brother and moving around. That's when I realized actually there's nothing else I want to do. I just want to minister. By that time, I wasn't sure if it's in the pastoral, and that's how now my dad comes in and he asks me, by the way, what do you want to do now that you finish your high school? What do you want to do as a career? I told him, Dad, I think I have a call of God in my life. And this is what he told me. He said, I wanted it to come from you, so that if you face the storms, you don't say it was Daddy that pushed me. So my dad I appreciate him for that.
That's wisdom.
That's
right
a
there.
lot. Yes.
He wanted you to own the decision.
He actually waited until I said, Dad, I want to go into ministry. And that's how now he sent me for School of Ministry. And then after I finished School of Ministry, now that's how I joined and did Bachelor's in Theology.
So you have gone through seminary. There you are. You've served in your dad's church. You've served in other churches. Now we're serving together in CITAM, Rongai. Tell us a bit about, like I know you're passionate about music ministry, about preaching. So when did you discover some of those things?
It's so interesting that among my siblings, I'm the introvert.
Really?
I'm an introvert. Like many people cannot pray, especially when they see me preach. So they're like, okay, really? How is it that I feel like yes, I enjoy that solitude
Yeah.
space, just listening to music and pray and all that. But deep down within me, I always felt like I can stand before people and I can speak to them, and I can. And so the first time I did it was in a high school, and the fulfillment I got from that, I was like, wow, this is actually what I was born to do, you know.
Amazing.
There is a lot of fulfillment that comes to me when I see the lives of people being transformed, when I see myself sharing a sermon and people are changed, you know, people are healed, because we've also had testimonies of people, God healing them miraculously as we share the word of God. And for me, that gives me a lot of fulfillment.
Wow.
There is nothing in this world I have done that gives me fulfillment like standing in front. So I prepare thoroughly. I pray that I do this like it's. I always tell my wife, I do every sermon as if it was my last.
That's amazing.
Yes.
That's amazing. And that explains the impact, that explains the quality. And I'm saying all these things so that you can go and check out Pastor Elisha Kababu, especially on CITAM Rongai. It's been a big blessing. And Pastor, I know you've mentioned just a bit about music, about writing songs. But tell us how that has grown over the years.
We have been able to do a lot. We actually, every Friday, we do something with Masi Masika. And all this is because of music. Been able to write and write songs for myself, been able to write songs for people. Some of these songs actually are played on Hope Radio.
Wow.
Quite a number of songs. And
hey, good stuff.
Yes,
Give us one. Sing it out. Sing the chorus.
Okay, how does this song go? The song is written by a guy. The song is sung by a guy called Jaden.
Okay.
It's called Ewe Yesu. I don't know if I've not done vocal
You don't have
warm-ups.
the keys.
I don't
okay.
have the keys. Okay, if
So
I
the
had
next time.
I'll do that. But
Yeah.
yes, that's one of the songs, and a couple of others.
Yeah.
You know. So and currently we're also writing for our youth church, because we are believing God that they will do a live recording. So CITAM Rongai,
Yes.
youths are actually preparing for a live recording
Towards the end of this year.
Towards the end of this year.
Good stuff.
They're already practicing, and yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So just in case you're joining the conversation at this point, we are talking about two words we use in everyday conversation. The words hi and bye. And the reason we're doing this is because Pastor Elisha is saying hi and I am saying bye. This is my last video here on CITAM Church Online, and I'll be sharing that in just a bit. But I want us to talk about hinge points. Hinge points, because this we are in a hinge point right now. Hinge points are those points of intersection or a turning point. Think of you're at a junction, and you can go this way, you can go straight ahead, you can take different exits. So hinge points are part of life.
Yeah.
Pastor, have you gone through hinge points?
Yes, I've gone through hinge points, and one of the difficult ones is actually was actually coming to CITAM.
Yeah.
I felt like when I was serving, where I was serving, is as if I had hit a glass, I had hit the roof.
The ceiling, yeah.
So it's as if everybody is looking up to you, and but you also feel like you also want to have people around you that you can look up to. You want to be in a space that's competitive and challenging.
Yeah.
And it's not comfortable to get into such spaces. But for me, I got to that place and I was like, they've always admired this, even when I was in campus, and most of these pastors, actually, we went to Bible school together. Most of them serve in CITAM, and I always wanted to, I always have admired how things operate in CITAM, and I wanted to learn the structures, I wanted to learn the discipline, I wanted to learn all these many dynamics that I find CITAM very distinct at.
Yeah.
So for me, it was a difficult decision to make, and I made it, and the rest is history.
Here you are, the rest is history.
That's right.
So let's also look at scriptures, some references in the Bible, some hinge points. What are some of the hinge points you see in the scriptures?
One of there are so many,
Yeah.
Rev. There are so many in the Old Testament and even in the New Testament. But one that is actually just clicked in my mind is Abraham, the father of faith.
Yeah.
He's gotten to a place in his life where God appears to him and tells him, "Leave your people, leave your home, go to a place that I will tell you." So this guy is even discovering where he's going. So God is even dishing out just partial information. To the land I will show you. I will. So he has not already showed him the land.
Yes.
And Abraham, in obedience, is going. The Bible says he's going. He does not know where he's going, but because he believes in a God that gives direction, he picks up his wife, he picks up his workers, he picks up his flock, and he begins the journey to Canaan.
Wow.
You know, so I think for me that was a very profound one. That it was not a comfortable transition that I'm going here, I know what is going to happen.
I know plan,
I have a plan.
the budget and all that.
There's nothing. You don't know what you will find. And for me, I think that's why they identify him as a father of faith, because he left a comfort zone to a place he did not know, you know, how it was.
Actually, it's good you should highlight that, because hinge points remove us from comfort zones.
Wow.
They are points where we turn into a different direction. And just like Abraham, you live in the land of your father.
That's right.
You live in the familiar space, and you're going into unfamiliar territory. And so what would you say, Pastor, to someone who's watching and they are at a hinge point in their life? What counsel would you give them?
I think the best way I would put it, Trev, is do not hesitate. Do not worry about what's going to come. The Bible says the steps of a righteous man are ordered of the Lord. So every step will reveal the destiny. Don't worry about provision. Don't worry about support. Don't worry about how much you will lose. If you have had clarity from God that this is time for transition, do not hesitate. Just go for it. Everything will unfold. I'm telling you, I'm sitting here as a testimony that when you respond to God, and then I'm telling you, we are living in a place where the house rent is sorted, bills are sorted, and you're going to a place where you don't know where you get your rent. You don't know how things will happen, how children will go to school, but God has said just go.
He's told you step out.
He just said just go. This is the time for you to step out and learn a few things that I want you to learn. And I mean, we've never slept hungry. My first one is the one that is in school. The other one is not yet joined in. Our house has never been locked. You know, this shows that God is faithful to his word. He's too faithful to fail you. So don't hesitate. Don't waste time, because if you hesitate or waste your time, when you get to your old age, you will look back and say, I wish I had made that decision. Just take the risk. God will not leave you alone.
I feel like that's tweet-worthy. You should just go ahead and tweet that, or send that out to somebody who needs to hear that. That don't hesitate. Don't let the years ahead be years where you look back with regret. Because you couldn't take the risk.
That's right.
Good stuff there, Pastor. So let's now talk a bit about why we're saying hi and bye.
Okay.
So I'm at a hinge point.
That's right.
Myself.
I'm also at a hinge point.
You're at a hinge point. And I am saying bye. You're saying hi. And I think it's important to onboard those who've been following, tracking, connecting with us on CITAM Church Online, that in the spirit of this year's theme as a ministry, I am taking new territory. And so part of that is stepping out into the space, the world of academia, going back to sharpen my axe, getting that sharpened, and basically study, because the scriptures talk about study to show yourself approved. And so that's why this is our last one for this season, our last video for this season. But I'm so happy to have Pastor Elisha, because he's going to continue, carrying over the content. And I think about the scripture of, is it John chapter 3, verse 30? It talks about, he must increase, I must decrease. And so as I exit, I am so glad that,
Wow.
Pastor, you're coming
Thank
on
you.
and you'll be sharing a bit more. So what are some of the things that people can look forward to hearing from you, and just some of the things you're thinking about?
I'm super excited, and it's a great honor to actually be joining, and we have so much lined up. We're thinking of talking about current issues to do with LGBTQ, probably even interview people that were on that side and they came to this side. And I'm thinking of fashion. Talking about fashion, Christian fashion designers. Can we establish...
Pause. You said, is it your wife who designed?
My wife dresses me, she makes all my outfits, and I'm sure Rev G also has been sorted too.
Yes.
She's actually dressed quite a number of prominent people. She's an amazing artist in terms of fashion. And I feel like I was telling her the other day, because there's a time she felt like, I don't feel like I'm so visible ministry-wise. And I was telling her, I mean, every time somebody who's standing in front of people is putting on your clothes, you're actually there. And I was telling her, look at it from a different dynamic. Your clothes can be points of contact to people's lives to be transformed. That some of your clients can wear the clothes, and if they were sick, they will be delivered. So learn even to lay your hands on those clothes. Pray over them, because I kind of feel like that's a very big ministry. Because nobody is going to stand in front of the church naked. They always have to be covered. Clothed, and you're the one that's clothing them. So I think there's a bigger thing besides looking good. Beyond that, especially if the outfit has been touched by a believer, somebody who's anointed, somebody who has that gift and God has given them. I feel like it's a very big ministry.
Good stuff.
So I kind of feel like it's good to also talk about Christian fashion designers, even have runways for Christians, where we showcase Christian fashion designers and talk about such kind of things. Talk about drugs, how interview people that have been delivered from such kind of things. Talk politics, what's the way forward. I know the Gen Zs have this at their heart. Let's talk about all these things. And we have so many young people that are already contributing in a major way in all these facets that we are talking about.
Excellent. Excellent stuff. Thank you, Pastor.
Wow.
I think that's a good intro. It's a good appetizer for people to look forward to hearing more of that kind of content, and hearing even from different ones in those spaces, fashion industry, music space, and so forth. And so to you who's connecting with us, we are so delighted that you plugged in. And our prayer is that in the hinge points of your life, you'll experience God's direction, God's providence in every turning point of your life, that you'll hear that voice behind you saying, this is the way, walk ye in it. I don't know if you have any parting shot, because we'll be hearing from you again.
I mean, the only thing is that we will definitely miss Rev George. He has been a critical player in our lives, not just ministry-wise, but also personal lives. We are going to miss him, and I hope CCO will take initiative to go and interview him in Europe. I think that's a challenge that I'm posing.
Let's get the visas.
Let's get the visas. My passport is ready. I just got my passport.
Good stuff.
So let's hop on the planes. Let's go to Europe.
Let's take the new territories.
Let's take the new territories.
Excellent. So with that said, I want to take this opportunity to bid you farewell, to say kwaheri, to say till we meet again. It has been an incredible, I believe, 5 or 6 years on CITAM Church Online, right from inception to this point, to this hinge point in my own life and our family's lives and ministry. And our prayer is that God would keep you, would bless you, and would continue to guide you and direct you in the different things that you're doing. And so as I say bye, Pastor Elisha says hi. And so you'll be hearing from him as the ministry continues and as we continue to trust God to advance his kingdom till every single person hears. So if you know someone who's at a hinge point, why don't you pass this over to them? And if this has added value to your life, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and whenever there's new content out, you'll be the first one to know. God bless you. Hi and bye.